Did Neal Brown and West Virginia get the biggest steal of the 2024 recruiting class from right here in the southern part of West Virginia? I think they might just have, and I'm going to give you my case as to why right after this word from my sponsor. Ladies and gentlemen, this episode is brought to you by Dutch Miller Automotive, where friends and family pricing means you get the best deal right up front on any new or pre-loved vehicle in stock every time. With brands like Chevrolet, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Kia, Hyundai, Ford, GMC, Buick, and Subaru, the Dutch Miller Automotive family is always growing and ready to put you in the car or truck you've been searching for. Check out our inventory across West Virginia at DutchMillerAuto.com or come in today to the home of friends and family pricing, only at a Dutch Miller Automotive store near you. What is up, college sports fans, Big 12 fans, fellow members of Mountaineer Nation? Welcome into another edition of Couz's Corner. Belly yourself up to that bar and let me pour you out this shot of top-shelf college football content. On tap in this episode, we're talking about none other than he goes by Dom Collins, the speedster from right here in my hometown of Princeton, West Virginia. Played right down the street at Princeton High School. He goes to school with my daughters. He's a local star here. The young man absolutely killed it. Both his junior and senior years of high school at Princeton, helped lead Princeton to the state title game for the first time in school history, put up gaudy numbers against some of the toughest teams in the state of West Virginia. And I know West Virginia high school football is not up there with the Floridas and the Texases and the Ohios and the Pennsylvanias. I get all of that. But he did it at the highest level possible, and he was arguably the best player on the field in every game that he played. Yet for some reason, and let me throw in the fact, he ran one of the fastest times, if not the fastest times, ever recorded at a West Virginia camp just this past summer, a sub 4.340. He didn't do that at just one camp, okay? He ran the fastest at West Virginia. He also ran sub 4.340s at Virginia Tech, and he ran a sub 4.340 at a local camp for local high school players here in West Virginia. He's an absolute burner. He's the type of player, when he gets the ball in his hands, he can make anything happen at any given time, whether it's on as a receiver, running the ball, or even on kick and punt returns, which I think he has the opportunity to have the biggest impact, especially early on in his career at West Virginia. Now, Neal Brown said in his signing day press conference today, and I'm paraphrasing this, but he said basically that, it's going to take some time for Collins to adjust to playing at this level. He has to put on some weight. He is a small guy. He's listed at 5'10", 165, I believe, but I think he's more around 5'9", probably closer to 155, 160. He may be 165. He is a strong young man, but he's small. He's going to have to put on some weight to be prepared to take the hits at the Power 5 level. But I'm telling you, folks, the kid is an absolute athlete. I'm going to pull up some highlights here in just a minute to let you see that for yourself. But first, I want to talk about what some other people have had to say about Collins, just so you don't take my word for it, because I know I'm biased, right? I live here in West Virginia. My kids go to school with him. He's from right here in my hometown. So I'm extremely biased. And yes, I know a lot of people are going to look at this and say, but he had no other Division I offers. And that is baffling to me. When I show you these highlights here in just a minute, you're going to sit back and go, why in the world did no one offer this kid outside of West Virginia at the Division I level? It's baffling, especially considering how fast he is. But first, what I want to touch on is what some other people had to say about him. I want to do a screen share here with you guys so you can see this for yourself. Here's what Keenan Cummings said about him on his X account over at WV Sports Now. Keenan Cummings is a writer at WV Sports Now, which is a Rivals affiliate that covers West Virginia. Here's what he had to say. Obviously, the tweet says, breaking down everything you need to know about the commitment of in-state athlete Dom Collins to West Virginia, including skill set, program fit, and recruiting. And there's a link there if you want to check it out, the whole article. But here's what he had to say in his headline. You simply can't teach speed, and Collins has that and more of it. Timed with one of the fastest 40 times in recent memory, Collins is an explosive athlete who can make plays with the ball in his hands. Needs to continue to develop, but a good ad from in-state. Again, from Keenan Cummings at WVSports.com, the managing editor over there. Again, they have him listed at 5'10", 163. He's probably closer to 5'9", but nonetheless, he is a small guy. But, man, I'm telling you, he's an absolute athlete. And, by the way, he also has a 40-inch vertical. one of the highest verticals ever recorded at a West Virginia camp. So just because he's small doesn't mean he can't go up and get balls in traffic against bigger receivers, because he might be able to out-jump those bigger receivers. He's that talented, folks. I'm telling you. Now, here's what now you want to look at some things other than just on the field. Let's talk about off the field, okay? Princeton got a new head football coach this year. The gentleman's name is Keith Taylor. Did a great job. Like I mentioned, he took them to their very first state title game in program history. But the first 3 years of Collins' high school career, he was coached by a coach named Chris Pettigo, who stepped away from coaching this past year to spend more time with his family. Recently on Facebook, Coach Pettigo put up something about Dom. Once he found out Dom had an offer from West Virginia, which by the way, just happened this past weekend on an unofficial visit. But Pettigo put this up on his Facebook account. Now, what I'm going to share with you actually comes from an article I did over on my own website at couzescorner.com. I ask you, did you please go check it out? There's a link to my website in the description box. But when you look at what Pettigo had to say, I'm just going to share his quote. You can go check out more details by reading the article over on my site. But here's the quote from former coach Chris Pettigo. It says, "Extremely happy for Dominick Collins and his mama, Christy Marion, and the rest of his family on this offer. It started years ago behind the scenes in the weight room after his freshman year. He never missed a day in the weight room. I didn't even know he was playing freshman basketball because he was always with us working out. He would leave the weight room after Coach Campbell would put him through brutal workouts and go work out more with TJ Benners, who, by the way, is a local trainer here where I live in Princeton. His freshman year was a learning experience playing behind two D1 players. We played him in the slot in his sophomore year, and he really started to hit his stride offensively at the end of that year. He had a great season on defense that year as well. Moved him out wide at the start of his junior season because of his speed to help take the top off of defenses, and the rest is history. I watched him grow into a tremendous young man and leader this year under the guidance of Coach Taylor. A special talent, Princeton was blessed to see this young man the last few years. I commend you, Dom, for trusting the process. This offer is well earned and extremely well deserved." So not only is West Virginia getting a player who has great athletic skills, which I'll show you in just a second, but he also has the work ethic to put in the work behind the scenes in the weight room, to get his body right, to do what he needs to do to be great. And by the way, he also happens to have a massive chip on his shoulder because he was under-recruited. Like I said, I don't know the reason why it took West Virginia so long to offer him, but they did, and they're getting a kid who I think has the opportunity to be special, regardless that he is not rated according to 24/7 Sports and others, at least not at the time of this recording. But I'm going to let you see this for yourself, because I've got some highlights here, and I pulled these up. These are from his huddle highlights, and I pulled these off of his X account. These are his playoff highlights. I mean, watch him make people miss. Gone. I'm telling you, once he's in the open field, you will not catch him. I mean, even reverses field here. Picked up a good block there as well. Gets into the end zone. Here you go. Watch this. This is in the state championship game against the best team in the state, Martinsburg High School. Boom. Beats his coverage for a deep ball. Now watch this throw right here. This might be the best play of the year. Goes up between two defenders that are bigger than him, comes down with the ball. Great athleticism, great hands right there. He had 330 yards receiving in that game. Watch this screen. He catches a screen pass again in the semifinal game. Watch him take it to the house. Gone. You're not catching him, folks. Even plays a little bit with his defender there. Here he is again. This time he carries the ball on a reverse or on a jet sweep or a toss, whatever the proper terminology is. Here's another play from the state championship game. Watch his hands, showing he's not just a one-trick pony. He can catch the ball across the middle. Here's another screen where he makes people miss. Again, state semifinal game. Boom, breaks tackles. You can't arm tackle this kid. Just because he's small doesn't mean you can arm tackle him. He is stronger than he looks. Here's another play in the state championship game. Goes up, gets it in the air, gets the ball out of the air. And notice too how he uses his hands to catch the ball. He doesn't let it come down into his chest. But he's just extremely athletic, guys. You saw on that one, it was a kickoff return. He took it back for a touchdown. I mean, and in his press conference, Coach Brown said even if Dom doesn't help him early on at the receiver spot, he might actually have a chance to get on the field early as a return guy. And he has multiple kick and punt return touchdowns in his career at Princeton, as well as his receiving touchdowns. And I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but he also has several rushing touchdowns, as you saw on the film, with where they give him, they pitch to him coming around the edge. So just an extremely, extremely talented young man. He does have some work to do. He'll need to improve his route running ability, in my opinion. He will need to bulk up and get bigger. But I think the kid has the athleticism to do what it takes to be successful. As long as he gets there, does the right things, continues with his work ethic, does what he needs to do in the classroom and off the field, I think the kid has a bright future. And I think all these other Division I teams out there who passed on Dom Collins are going to regret it. And I want to give kudos to Neal Brown for taking a chance on this in-state young man. Anyway, guys, I want to hear your thoughts on Dom Collins as a West Virginia Mountaineer. Do you think he's underrated? Do you think he should have had more offers? Personally, I think it was probably his size or lack of size that kept him from getting more offers. But we've all seen you don't have to be big to be successful at the Power 5 level. If you've got what it takes athletically and you've got what it takes up here and you do the right things and work hard, you can be successful. And I think Dom Collins can do that. I want to hear your thoughts, guys. Again, please go check out my website, couzescorner.com, if you want to read the rest of the article I told you about. Also, guys, I want to give a shout-out to my VIP members here at Couz's Corner, at least 4 of them in this episode. I want to give a shout-out to C. Dotson B210, Tom Reinhart, Andrew Smith, and Todd Biela. Thank you all for your membership. If you want to join this club, a pub-level membership is $2.99 a month. A club-level membership is $4.99 a month and comes with a few extra perks. You can check out the perks and join the channel by hitting the join button below. If you don't see a join button on your device, go into my description box. There's a link where you can join my channel. There are also links, guys, to ONIT athlete trading cards. For those of you who saw my live stream last night, you saw that I opened a pack of those ONIT athlete trading cards. Zach Frazier, C.J. Donaldson, Rodney Gallagher, and an icon edition of Lee Koba. Every so often, guys, you may get an autographed version of a player in one of these packs as well. I unfortunately did not, but you can't. That's the beauty about these cards. You can't predict what you're going to get. But if you want to get yourself some of these ONIT NIL trading cards, where 60% of the profits go to support the student athletes, and it's also a way to support my channel, go to the description box. You'll see a link to onitathlete.com. Use that link, and I will get a small commission and get yourself some of these cards. Also, guys, you can check out my merch store over there as well. I have beanies, tank tops, hoodies, T-shirts, all kinds of items to choose from. Coffee mugs if you like to drink coffee. Go to Couz's Corner merch store, also over at Spread Shop. I've got a link to that as well if you want to do that. And if you want to support me for free, you can do that too. All you have to do is hit the like button, which is the thumbs up button below. Share this out with your family and friends. Drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about Dom Collins signing at West Virginia. And last but not least, guys, subscribe to Couz's Corner. If you haven't subscribed to Couz's Corner, I'm not sure what you're waiting for. I cover West Virginia football. I cover the Big 12, and I also cover conference realignment. West Virginia has also done a great job recruiting the transfer portal this offseason. If you want more information on how well they've done that, go check out this video right here, and I'll talk about a few players that West Virginia picked up in the transfer portal. With that being said, guys, I really appreciate you tuning into this episode. Hope you have a top shelf day and Q Country Roads.